A weekend on the Bluegrass. A pleasant evening here in Lexington, Kentucky as we get ready for USL Super League. Tonight, Lexington SC hosts Tampa Bay Sun as the days are numbered in regular season play. Looking to snap a 7-match winless streak led by Shea Moyer. 2 goals, a team-high 5 assists, and twice on the Super League Team of the Month. Meanwhile, other side, one of the league's top offenses from Tampa, Hannah Keene's goal was the 250th in league history back on Sunday. It was all the Sun needed against Dallas in Week 31 of USL Super League. Saturday night from Lexington Stadium, Lexington SC and Tampa Bay Sun FC. Delighted you've joined us for USL Super League here tonight. Alongside Chelsea Gabarkis, I'm Drew Casey with the rest of our fantastic team. Just 3 matches left in the regular season for both of these clubs as we take a look at the league table.
Tampa Bay sits third, just 1 point behind Dallas, and with a few games left, every point matters. This is a stage where fatigue sets in and it's easy to lose focus. Managing mentality is key, something Dallas didn't do a good job in during their last match this past Thursday against DC.
You see Lexington at the bottom of the table, but when they have been able to score first, pretty good success this year.
I always say set the tone early, score the first goal, make the first foul, win the first and second ball. It sets the rhythm and usually swings the game in your favor. Lexington is a perfect example of when they come out locked in, things tend to go their way. Tampa Bay is the ideal opponent for Lexington to capitalize on. Tampa hasn't kept a clean sheet in their last 8 matches, which signals there's some defensive issues. Goals are getting through, and Lexington should take full advantage of that.
But that said, Tampa is in great form scoring over the course of the last month plus.
Tampa has hit their stride, finding their rhythm and playing as a true unit. Everyone understands their role, and when that clicks, you almost feel unstoppable as a team. They've got the firepower to create and finish chances, which is evident in the 8 goals they've scored over their last 4 matches. It's clear their focus and training has been on the attack. The last time these two met, Tampa walked away with a dominant 4-1 win. Now it's really up to Lexington to come out and redeem themselves.
It's really been a trio of stars that have pushed Tampa Bay forward this season.
These 3 have had a hand in 29 of Tampa's 36 goals this season, either scoring or assisting, and they're a huge part of why this attack is so dangerous. Flint is always in the right spot and doesn't hesitate to finish. Flu brings energy and impact. She may not play a full 90, but when she's on the field, she will make a difference. And Jamona, 7 goals, 2 assists. She's quick, finds those pockets, and loves having the ball at her feet. This team as a whole, they're great.
One thing to note, though, only 2 of those 3 available tonight. We'll tell you who is unavailable on the other side. 4th and final meeting between these 2 in the inaugural USL Super League. Tampa's taken the first 3 lineups, the opening touch when we return with USL Super League on Peacock.
I shouldn't be here. That's what the first 3 doctors said. That even if I made it to remission, I'd probably never climb again. But I did, because I wanted a different answer. And I found it at UK Healthcare. They took a drug nobody else had yet. 12 rounds of chemo and a 16-person team. But here I am, right where I was never supposed to be.
Who is Lexington Sporting Club? We are the professional soccer team in the heart of the Bluegrass. From our Youth Academy to the Women's Super League to the Men's USL Championship team, we're building the future. From every corner of Lexington, we are united under one crest. This is your team. This is your community. Together, we are creating our story and leaving our mark. This isn't just any club. It's a club to call your own. Get your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets.
I'll show you something so good that you ain't never seen before. I'll show you something you've never seen before.
City. Cloud
ever closer to the first touch here between Lexington and Tampa Bay USL Super League. So glad that you've joined us here tonight. Really, really nice night. It's also Pups at the Pitch night. That's going to be fun. Here's a look at the lineup. 4-2-3-1 for Lexington with a pair of changes from last week.
Perez is usually the one to break lines with her passes from the back line, but she's not in, so therefore it's going to be interesting to see how this Lexington side progresses out from the back. More attack space, but also likes to cut in a lot of the times to look for Moira Parsons to check in deep. Wisniewski plays box-to-box. Expect a lot of movement from her. What's going to be key for Lexington is matching Tampa Bay's physicality.
On the other side, no Jordan Listro. We knew that because of the red card last week, and we teased before the break. One of those three leading scorers not available. No Tosh Flint, so there are two changes for Tampa today.
They're starting in a 3-5-2, but don't be surprised if it shifts more into a 4-3-3 shape when defending, with Paige and Hogan tucking inside and taking a shot here and there. I believe Provenzano will be the midfielder to hold and connect, giving her experience. In possession, Flu drops deep to either receive the ball or create pockets behind her for a long ball over the top to Keane. This is a team that plays with intensity both on and off the ball.
It'll be interesting to see how these two shapes take effect. There is the head coach, Denise Schulte-Brown, chatted with us earlier in the week. 10 wins for the third-place club in Super League, can move to second with 3 points. Cannot clinch a playoff berth today with any kind of results here or elsewhere. We'll tell you all about that coming up a little bit later. On the other side for Lexington, the acting head coach tonight is Ben Willis here at Pups at the Pitch night. First of 3 consecutive games to close the regular season. That will all be here at Lexington Stadium. These teams have met 3 times previously already in what is the double round robin home and away, so 4 times round robin schedule in the inaugural season. And 3 wins for Tampa, 4-1 in the April 12th meeting, 3-1 and 3-2 back in the fall. There's Edson Carvajal, our center referee, getting set for the ready for play. And there it is, and away we go here on what is a Saturday night and Pups at the Pitch night alongside the rest of our fantastic team. With Chelsea Kabarkis, I'm Drew Casey. And once again, thanks for joining us for USL Super League. Tampa here in the two-tone yellow and oranges, attacking from right to left, and Lexington in the home whites from left to right. And you're going to likely see a lot of this pressure from Tampa, especially when they can play, hopefully, a full 90 with 11 players, when last week it was more than an hour at 10.
I mean, the key to this game will be physicality. Whichever team really sets the tone early with intensity and attention to detail will have the edge. It'll come down to who's tracking back consistently, anticipating movements, and reacting quicker in transition during counterattacks.
Keane with a nice win to send that one into the box. Cleanly took it away from Trinity Watson. It almost created a masterful early chance for Tampa Bay, who's one of the highest scoring teams in the country. But to your point, Chelsea, also susceptible to allowing goals. It's very rare that you see 0-0 or 1-0 in Tampa Bay's case, although coming off a 1-0 win against Dallas back on Sunday.
This is something that Lexington needs to take advantage of, the fact that Tampa Bay lets goals in. So try to score that first goal.
Going back towards goal, a touch here for the first time for the goalkeeper for Tampa Bay, Sydney Schneider, making her 2nd consecutive start. Give you a look at today's Lexington Sporting Club injury report. It's brought to you by UK Healthcare, and it's crowded. It's the time of the year for that. Perez, Lopez, Winter, Sullivan, and Jones all factor onto it. And that big difference for Lexington, no Madison Perez. That's probably the biggest name. 22 games in starts. Probable entering today with a lower extremity injury, but unable to give it a go. Leads the team in a number of categories. On the offensive attack, will we get a whistle here? An early penalty? I think so. Yes, a point to the spot in just the 3rd minute. And Tampa clearly on the front foot, going to work early. Sydney Nasillo making things work.
What a risky tackle, and something that Nasello does very well is that she's going to run at the back line, and she's going to throw herself in the box. She has that intelligence in the game. She knows when to throw herself.
A decisive decision early on, and Tampa will have an opportunity to strike within the first 3 minutes. The run-up, the right-footed strike, it's stopped! It's kept down and it would not go. What a start for Lexington in goal. Sarah Cox denying Jamona, and we stay 0-0.
These are moments that you want to take advantage of. Nacelle did a great job getting into the box and throwing herself, because to me it didn't look like a foul. She just tripped on her own feet.
Well, as some may say, perhaps the result evens out if you take one perspective. On the other side, here's a chance for Lexington. It was bobbled on the way through, meaning it was deflected after the shot came. And there is Schneider, and through 3.5 minutes, pretty open.
It's going to be crucial these next few minutes, 3-5 minutes, for Lexington to get a goal. Just because they just missed a PK. Tampa just missed a PK, so their heads are going to go down.
Momentum early on with the host, and Sarah Cox, second in the league in saves, picks up another one, denies the PK. Last week, 3 saves, made a big one in a 1v1 in the 80th minute, kept that game within relative striking distance down the stretch at 2-0 down. Lexington had a couple of chances. One ball that appeared to bounce up high on a defender in the box that likely would have resulted in a penalty, and also a tough decision on an offside, but did appear to be the correct call there that disallowed what would have been also a Lexington goal. Again, just underway, but plenty of fireworks in case you joined us late. An early PK stop. Carly Jamona was looking for her 8th goal, but Sarah Cox, who might be tested here, can grab that one and keep it in. No, the flag came up, so it's going to be a goal kick. Just listening to see if we can hear any pups through the crowd mic. They're not riled up yet. I guess the PK stopped. They've settled. They've settled down here. Gonna have to work on pups in the broadcast booth too in the future.
I would love that.
I would love that too. And, yellow lab, but I don't think he would be able to last the full 90.
Emotional support system.
Do have another game going on tonight. It's originally scheduled for 6 o'clock Eastern time, but got a little delayed. Started at around 6:45. It's Brooklyn already up 2-0. Goals from Garziano, New York City's own, out of St. John's University, and Kelly making it 2-0. So a great start for Brooklyn against Spokane. They're just in the 21st minute. That game does have some significance. Brooklyn, despite we still have almost 3 weeks to go in the regular season, Brooklyn only have 1 match remaining after tonight. And if Brooklyn falls and Tampa wins here, Brooklyn's playoff chances are eliminated due to possible points available in the rest of their year.
It's unfortunate the situation that Brooklyn's in, because they started the year so strong, finding a victory in every game, and they play a really good style of football.
They get into the postseason, though. I don't think anybody is going to want to see them. There is a lot of parity within this league. Tampa looking for another great chance. Not going to get much better than a 3rd-minute penalty attempt, but stopped by Sarah Cox as Jamona could not bury it past the goalkeeper here. Native of Newport Beach, California. Can distribute, does have an assist this year. Way back in September, early on in the fall season against Dallas. Right-sided attack here for Lexington, and Maddie Parsons. Dispossessed, though. Nice strong takeaway by Hendricks. Players wearing 15 there, going head-to-head off the right side of the attack.
What I'm really liking about this Lexington side is that they're showing a lot of personality on the ball. They're moving the ball around quickly, 1 touch, 2 touch. They're taking that extra touch when it's necessary.
Despite the 2-0 loss, that's something that the coaching staff really thought they did a nice job of. The connectivity together, getting more efficient and breaking some lines, looking to continue to build on that as the season continues. Lexington does know it has been eliminated from playoff contention, but 3 straight at home to conclude this spring portion, second half of the year, and before you know it, it's going to be August again.
They're in a very different position that Tampa Bay is in right now. I mean, their head coach isn't present, which sometimes can interfere with the dynamic of the team on the field. So it really comes down to team mentality and who's currently going to step into that leadership role on the field. And what we're seeing right now is that they have a sense of togetherness.
Someone to speak about for Lexington who just had it within our grasp, Shane Moyer, someone who leads on the field. Consummate professional, now twice on the Super League Team of the Month, most recently in March. Team leader in assists, minutes, and starts. In fact, has started now every game of this inaugural season. There is the captain of the club, Shane Moyer, Pennsylvania, played collegiately at Penn State. Just to reiterate the scenario for Tampa, they cannot clinch a playoff berth with a result that they can control or results elsewhere, but Tampa can move into second position solo with 3-point performance here this evening and would be in commanding shape to not only make the postseason, but to tick into a top 2 seed, something that head coach Denise Schulte-Brown of Tampa really emphasized. That's something they are targeting. They play much better at home, as do most squads. Would love to have one at Riverfront coming up in a couple of weeks with a chance to get to the league final. And with the Brooklyn current 2-0 up, and with this 0-0, if you want to go live table, it's a 3-way tie on 40 points with Brooklyn, Dallas, and Tampa. Of course, games played comes in to this. You see Brooklyn only has 1 left after this one. 28 is the regular season total. Fort Lauderdale's also not out of it just yet. They'll need to go on quite a run as a whistle here on a takedown as flew, and it will elicit a yellow card as well. Julie Mackin was beaten and then committed the foul.
The caution has been issued to Lexington SC number 16, Julie Mackin.
Very smart move by Mackin. This is where her soccer IQ came in, where it's either I let the ball go forward or the player, but I can't let them both get through because this player is going to be a threat to my back line.
So Mackin picks up the yellow here in the 11th minute. Yellow cards presented by Hicks and Funson. So they'll set this one up with Vivian Bissett to take. The 22-year-old from Canada raises the right hand and delivers the right-footed service, flies the spot right near it, off a couple of shoulders, and let's see who last touched it. Both teams contesting they should have it, and it will be a corner kick. First corner of the evening in the 12th minute. We are scoreless between Lexington and Tampa Bay. Hope the dogs like music. I really thought about that. And have some special protocols in play tonight. The swinging corner, this one has a chance to go, ricocheting around, somehow it stays out, it still stays out. My goodness.
What a great play. A brilliant play by this Tampa Bay side, and how this all started from the corner kick with Paige. Pulling the defenders out. Lexington, they were pulling them out of their line to then go ahead and give that service into the box and attack the goal.
Jade Moore, 12 in orange, looking for the goal. It was Libby Moore, no relation, who made the great save off the goal mouth. Might even get credit with the defensive save. We'll save that for the halftime stats later. But Tampa with 2 golden opportunities, and Lexington will concede another corner here. Certainly on the front foot and moving quickly. Vivian Bissett goes short again. This was a similar setup to what we just saw. Paige sends in edge of the 6. Battle for shoulders, sent high. Lexington remains fortunate. Tampa Bay almost opening the scoring. So we take another look here.
A good service into the box. I would have liked the Tampa Bay players to maybe step out a little bit and meet that ball coming in, so that when they're coming in with force, it's a lot easier to get ahead on it.
Gabby Provenzano there, 25-year-old making her first start, going right back to work and having to make an acrobatic save on cross becoming shot was Sarah Cox.
Another service. Cox has been doing an outstanding job by holding her own in that goal.
Said service, looking for Jamona, but Jamona was still 5-6 yards away. Then may have just sailed on, or may have been the intent to try and bury one. As the onslaught continues here, but Lexington can weather the storm. It's all for naught. It continues, again, similar corner style, not the traditional way of the world. It's Bassett who sends in the righty cross, edge of the 6. Defender goes down, and that will elicit a whistle from our referee. And Lexington will finally have a goal kick. LSC fans, visit lexsporting.com to get your latest Lexington SC news, merchandise, and discounted ticket offers. That's lexsporting.com.
This is the perfect time for Lexington to try to take control of the game. Tampa Bay has had, I want to say, about 3 corners in a matter of 5 minutes.
It's been a dominant performance, but nothing on the board as of yet. The XG is at 0.7 already for Tampa on what is officially, at this point, only 2 shots. A lot of that comes from the penalty, of course. But still, here is Cecilia Flew trying to get the byline, knocked away in the battle with Jennifer Albiyu, making her first career USL Super League start, 6th appearance. Will be a goal kick though. Nice crowd attendance here tonight at Lexington Stadium. Perfect night. Opportunities of the steal and the takeaway and a long-range fire is Lexington trying to build from the back and struggling to get it to the middle third as Jamona ripped one.
Not a smart move by Cox, knowing that this Tampa Bay side, they're high pressing. You have around 5 yellows around your box. This is when you just want to get the ball out.
Mentioned the physicality as well of this Tampa team. Those styles really the exact opposite. Lexington team that wants to play a little more free, avoid the contact, and those numbers reflected in the fouls and cards leaderboards across the league.
2 very different squads. Tampa Bay has the most fouls, the most yellows, and Lexington has the fewest yellow cards in the league.
So the fewest number of total fouls. There's 325 fouls. We have played close to 26 here on the year, and coming out is Sarah Cox, who has had to be very, very strong.
This is a perfect moment for Cox to take control from the back. She needs to break Tampa Bay's rhythm right now.
A couple of goalkeepers on this Lexington side. Bridget Skiba, the other primary keeper, has played 10 times this year. Cox, this is her 16th appearance and start. Both bringing different skill sets, matchup based from time to time by the technical staff. Nice cut inside here by Vernus. Extra pass deflected away, works its way for Keene, who gets one off. The goal scorer, or excuse me, Wisniewski getting it off for Lexington, and it will remain 0-0.
These are moments that they need to capitalize. Top of the box, get your body over the ball and put power.
Newski from New Zealand. Also a player down here is Victoria Hogan for Tampa Bay. Playing the 18th minute. If you're just joining us, Tampa Bay has had 2 great chances. A penalty from Jamona, but it was saved by Sarah Cox. And then about 10 minutes later of game time, a frantic scramble in front of goal mouth with a number of players factoring really for both sides. It was Jade Moore who had the best chance for Tampa Bay. And Libby Moore, defender Libby Moore of Lexington, a strong defensive play to stop the best chance, and then a couple of back and forths and ping pongs in and out before it was finally cleared. But this is a nice opportunity to reset if you're Lexington and if you're Tampa, to continue to push forward.
Lexington has been holding their ground. They've been paying attention to detail, having an organized back line. What Tampa Bay is trying to do is that they're trying to catch Lexington off their line. They're trying to pull them out so that they can feed those balls into those pockets.
It's Victoria Hogan going through the quick agility and strength tests to make sure that she is A-OK to continue. And now we'll chat with Sydney Schneider, but we'll have to leave just temporarily. Looks like she should be able to re-enter when the referee says that she can. Tampa coming off the 1-0 win over Dallas, a matchup that was postponed from Saturday to Sunday due to some travel issues. And Lexington again coming off the 2-0 loss Saturday at Spokane, one of the longest trips they will make. Tampa's won 4 of its last 5. Lexington has lost its last 2, has not picked up a win in its last 7. But in chatting with the staff earlier this week, the outside world might say, well, what does Lexington have to play for? Not much, but the answer from Lexington was, in fact, we've got everything to play for, absolutely everything. 3 to go, all at home, our community, our crest, our building of this organization.
It's not even just that, they're also playing for contracts. Most of these women want to continue to play professional. So their performance on the field, everything counts.
Absolutely. Evaluation at all times, and most noticeably on match day. Nearly halfway through, Tampa has had the advantage for sure, but it remains 0-0. Tampa and these bright kids here, home whites for Lexington. 60-40 percentage-wise, feels about right in favor of Tampa. Trying to get the byline sent away. Good idea, looking for Flew. A foot deflected, edge of the area, back to goal. Remember, no Tosh Flint for Tampa in this one. Unable to go due to injury. Team leader in goals with 9. That's why Flew was in there at the start. Last week, Flew came in at the break. A bit of a confusion near the 4th official in the substitution area. It'll be Mackin to restart. Mackin on a yellow card, picked it up in the 11th minute. Looking to feed off this left side. On it with the left foot. Jamona, right foot. That was blocked cleanly. And straight down, kept to the body. Back to Carly Jamona. Cycling off this near side, and a touch for Page. A grounder. Caught the defense perhaps by surprise a bit. Here's Moore. Had a great chance earlier. Dispossessed. Nicely done. Lexington trying to break out of its end against this Tampa high press. Sarah Cox able to do just that.
This is a team on the Tampa Bay side that you don't want them to gain momentum because they get better as time goes on. So you want to break that down as fast as possible.
Nice takeaway here off the far side. All up ahead and too strong for everybody. It will get all the way to the Tampa keeper, Sydney Schneider. Cheers to local beer. West 6th Brewing is proud to be the official craft beer of Lexington Sporting Club. Find their locally crafted beers all around the state of Kentucky, from the flagship West 6th IPA to Sixer Light Lager. There's something for everyone. Head to west6th.com to visit one of their dynamic tap rooms and learn more about Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC.
Lexington's having a really hard time connecting passes. They win the ball, they connect the first pass, but that second pass, they're having a lot of difficulties. And I also, if I were the back line, Watson, Mackin, Moore, I would take the initiative to step up my line a little higher rather than playing a mid block or a low block, because you're letting Tampa Bay just run at you.
Here's Flew trying to get on by Albiu. Albiu wins that one. JJ towards the corner flag and outlets and clears off the near touchline. First career Super League start for Jennifer. 6th appearance, only 37 total minutes. Dangerous ball gets all the way through. It's just waiting. It would not have mattered though. We had an offside flag up. Along with Chelsea Kabarkis, the rest of our team, I'm Drew Casey. Thanks for joining us for USL Super League here this evening, just past the halfway mark of the opening 45. Lexington Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. Nice night for just about anything for pups at the pitch now. Can this be kept? Yes. Nicely done by Hannah Keene. Strong cross. Just over the racing head of Provenzano, who's pushed forward a few times now.
What a great run by Keene, fighting for that ball to stay in. Unfortunate that there wasn't someone there to finish.
Actually, it was Flew who made that run all the way through. Keene looking for that connection. Those two, Hannah Keene's really come on strong. 2 goals in her last 4. Including the goal on Sunday against Dallas. It was in the 13th minute, sharp angle, roofed it, got it by, and eventually, and when all was said and done, that was the only goal, despite Tampa playing down for close to 65 minutes, and there were 10 minutes of stoppage time nearly in the second half, so a lot more than that. I take it in your playing days, Chelsea, when you guys went down a player, those were the days where you felt it the most in recovery?
Of course, when you're down a player, you're running extra. No one likes to run extra. A lot of ice baths.
Lighter days early in the week, I'm sure, from the training ground.
You train for that. You train to be a man down.
Here's a chance. Keene from Page had it knocked away. Nice job defending and doing it cleanly by Trinity Watson.
Great connection between Page and Keene. One thing about Page is that she's going to step up high and attack those spaces. She's part of the back line, but she's so versatile that she's going to work 18 to 18.
Already the 6th corner for Tampa in this opening half. The traditional in-swinging ball, it's headed high. And the defender went down on the play as well. Would not have gone. Fans visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington SC Team Store, your one-stop destination for all of the latest LSC gear and official merchandise. From kits to scarves and hats, we've got everything you need to show off your club pride. That's lexsporting.com. 28th minute, remaining scoreless. Possession right around 60-40 still, maybe even slightly higher for Tampa.
Moments like this is when Lexington needs to be better with communication. Your communication starts with your back line, your center backs. They can't have hiccups like this because, like they just had. because that can cost you a goal.
Still 9 points up for grabs down the stretch for Lexington. A couple of more opportunities for the local faithful. Friday, May 16th, Fort Lauderdale United's in town for a 7 o'clock start, and then after Memorial Day, May 31st against DC at 7. Tampa off this left side. It's been pretty fruitful thus far. Flu's ball all the way across. It sails too high. Victoria Hogan trying to track, but the bend of it does keep it in play, and the rush continues. Sydney Nacello, who's impacted the game in so many ways recently for Tampa, drops off, has it back, and we'll see that one out for a goal kick. See the shots 6-2. On target though, just the one for Tampa. 2 for 2 in that department for Lexington, but much higher grade scoring chances for Tampa so far. Cox has been excellent. Big reason why this remains 0-0. Tight confrontation there, won by Lexington. Parsons drops it back. Shane Moyer a touch. Seeing a little more physicality these last few moments for Lexington. Maintain possession.
Lexington has been doing wonderful moving the ball.
An opportunity, look out, the keeper is wide and the shot is sent wide left. Crisis averted for Lexington as it was just taken away, and Jamona had everything to shoot at but just sent it wide and to the left.
Just when I was going to say that they were doing a great job moving the ball around in the back line, these are hiccups that can't happen. Open up your body a little earlier. Anticipate the play so that your first touch is moving in the direction that you want to go.
Highly, highly fortunate for Lexington to still be at 0-0. Make that a second highest of grade scoring chances with the PK. You could even say 3 of the highest chances level of quality. That one unforced and nearly resulted in a 1-0 start for Tampa Bay, which at this point seems as if it would be earned. But if you're Lexington, first corner right here, which is presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Cole Vernus, who was listed as probable with an injury. Two-time captain at Georgia in her collegiate career. Florida native, now 24 years old. Right-footed service, looking for a head. Finds a Tampa head first and cleared away. Nearly came up high on the hand there, but no whistle. Wisniewski was trying to create. Kicked out wide. Vernus, who took the corner moments ago. Shorter quarters, nutmegs through. Getting there. Nacello taken down from behind. That should be a foul. It is. Nice recovery done by Sydney Nacello and the rest of the Tampa unit.
That touch by Vernus got a bit too far from her. If she would have kept it a little closer, it would have been easier to control to go ahead and dribble in at an angle and take that shot.
The next home match for the Lexington SC women's team comes your way Friday, May 16th, 6 p.m. They take on Fort Lauderdale United FC. Visit lexsporting.com to purchase your tickets now. That's lexsporting.com. Stepping in, nice defensive work. Mackin, who was beaten earlier. Bit of the foul on the blow-by. Jersey tug, clear yellow. She knew what she was doing, though, earlier. Third yellow card of the season, by the way. So the Colorado native who played collegiately at Clemson. And there's Flu. He's had quite a year for Tampa 8 goals, 2 assists, and has scored 3 of her 8 goals against Lexington, including a brace back in November. One of the more sustained sequences of possession for Lexington we've seen.
Lexington has been doing great in moving the ball around the possession. They normally don't move the ball around this much, and they've shown a lot of personality and confidence off the ball. It's just that final pass to their outside forwards that are just not connecting.
The press of Tampa has given Lexington some trouble, and here's a takeaway by Nasello. Nasello's cross, and Cox gobbles it up on the short hop.
And that's exactly what Nasello is going to do. She's going to look for those 1v1 situations because she's creative, she's cheeky, and she looks for those fouls, or she's going to look to connect in that final third of the field.
Very, very strong player. Sydney Nasello, honored in April at month's end, Super League Team of the Month. Had a goal, drew a PK, which Flint scored against Spokane 2 weeks ago. Scored against Lexington in mid-April. Everything else that Nasello brings to the table as well. Lexington trotting back defensively. Near danger. Probably would have been an offside position though if the steal was clean. More than a half hour complete here. Turning into more of the back and forth. Tampa winning it back quickly. Crosses through, a bouncer for Cox. Looking for the target of perhaps Provenzano or others.
Page, Moore, and Flew have been doing a great job on that line, giving those rotating runs, overlapping, moving off of each other, and that's why they've been successful.
Cox has certainly been involved in this one. Prior to her time with Lexington, long time the WPSL with Fresno Freeze and Miss Kick FC. Cello again. Tampa looking for a goal that it likely feels it deserves with the quality of chances they've had in the opening 37 minutes. Again, this near side, Page working it away. Flew nearby. Jamona too, those three in a triangle. Flew settles. Reversal, have not seen this much. Here's Bissett. Feeds up ahead, a slight bobble. There's Keene looking to get onto it, but sent away. Expected goals for Tampa is now over a goal. 1.15, Lexington at 0.07. But that does not mean a thing, as we all well know. Mackin with Page nearby, able to win that one.
These are the moments that Lexington has to give width and depth on the field. Move around, get into those spaces. It makes it so much easier if you anticipate your movements. You make it a lot harder for yourself if you don't move earlier. And that's what's happening. They're getting so caught in their half because there's no movement up top. A lot of time Parsons is really deep, close to her back line where she shouldn't be. She should be giving them depth.
Throw quickly taken back control of Tampa, flicked over the top by Jamona. Trying to cut in. Nacello, who's just all over the place, as has been the case recently. Not just tonight.
She's a fun player to watch.
I agree. Entering tonight, Nacello with the most chances created on the team. Tied with Jamona. We've seen both of them involved quite a bit. Right-footed corner. And it sails over everybody. Get the latest Lexington SC news right at your fingertips by downloading the official mobile app powered by Fan360. Get access to exclusive content while shopping for season tickets and LSC gear, all in the Lexington SC fan app. Lexington trying to push the line of confrontation a bit further up left to right. Shots 7-2 at last check. Reversal to the near from Nacello, evades Page though, and out over the near sideline.
What a great idea by Nacello, cutting in, getting out of position, dragging the defenders out of their position so that those spaces and those windows can open behind.
40th minute. Do stay with us coming up at the half. Go around the rest of the league. Highlights and stats, of course, from our game as well. As we get closer and closer to postseason time. A lot on the line, especially for Tampa Bay here tonight. That should elicit a whistle. It does. As Parsons weaves through traffic and goes down, wins the foul. Tampa bench clamoring that the ball was moved up a little bit too far, and I guess Watson moved it all the way back there.
Those are little things that players do to get ahead.
Service is in, ball is loose. Nearly a broken play results in a great strike towards goal. Shane Moyer, though, tracks it down. I always love that when they ask for the ball to be moved, and
those are
moves
gestures
a
that every player needs to do. I would move it 5 yards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then move it back too. It's a net of 3. Here's Mackin. Knocked away, and Page, able to get her left boot on it, will result in a Lexington SC corner kick coming up. Presented by Commonwealth Credit Union.
That's the Commonwealth Credit Union corner kick.
Second corner for Lexington. And one set piece here from a first half lead. Vernus getting set. Sends it with the right foot. Low ball edge of the 6. Comes back in the direction of Vernus.
I would like to see Lexington maybe pull out of the box and run onto that cross. It's so much easier to get a head on it or your foot on it when you're running in and you're crashing into the box. Instead, they're kind of just static, waiting for a floating ball to just magically appear.
Here's another opportunity. A reload, second consecutive corner. Vernus, a good one, caught a defensive head and sent out of immediate danger. Wisniewski, though, tracks it down. Ever since that long ball misplay that almost resulted in a goal for midfield from Tampa, Lexington's looked pretty good last 12 minutes or so. Sent wide, however. Enter the Prinks Tires Tailgate Kit Sweepstakes for a chance to win a prize pack worth up to $3,000. Scan the QR code on screen to enter today. 43rd minute. Did have an injury stoppage earlier, so looking at likely at least 2 minutes of first half stoppage time. We will, of course, wait and see. Challenge here. Allowed to continue for now. No advantage signal, but that appears to be at least the determination, or nothing. And now a whistle comes, but that's because the flag is up. Confusion here. Jade Moore wanted to run with that one. Also, make sure you stay with us before we take our halftime break for our halftime interview. And what at this point is looking like a 0-0 scoreline. Page dispossessed there by Parsons. Physicality there. And Parsons is going to help up Page. Footed ball sent ahead. Flag stays down. Here's Flew, right foot, waiting on it. The settle, the fire, and there it is! What a strike! Victoria Hogan just lets it loose. The defender had space and buries it for a 1-0 Tampa lead. All smiles, and that is exactly what the reaction should be.
What a great strike by Hogan. Flew looking to connect, opening her body and connecting with Hogan across the field. Just changing that point of attack makes such a difference. And Hogan just looking up, controlling, and taking that shot. Brilliant.
Well, a goal that Tampa likely feels it deserves. It comes technically in the 45th minute. We'll get to likely a little more than 2 of this stoppage time. Tampa takes the advantage. Hogan's first goal of the season, and thus in the inaugural season, her first Super League goal. Played the full 90 minutes last week. It has tallied now for the first time. Little bunch for the Tampa defense. Lexington with it here. Mackin's cross. Looking for a receiver. Lexington still looking for a real high-quality scoring chance, and now chasing the game down 1. Bounce for Parsons, who waits for it and now settles. Cuts it back. Maddie Parsons takes the defender down. Near tackle from behind. Will they blow a whistle? No. Shea Moyer was trying to get involved.
That's when Moyer needs to be smart and throw herself, because she's a smaller player and it's so easy to get fouls against.
Stopped here. Lexington nearly caught out of position, but had enough numbers on the weak side back to slow down Jamona as we tick towards the final moments of this opening half of play. Tampa leads it 1-0. And there is the first half whistle. And Tampa Bay leads it 1-0 on the goal from Hogan. And Chelsea had some chances earlier. I don't think the Hogan chance was their best chance, but with the way that it goes, Hogan with a banger of a goal, and it is 1-0.
Tampa Bay should be up 4-0 by now. While they're leading 1, that's energy. And on the Lexington side, they've done well, staying compact in a low block, maintaining possession. We're seeing a completely different version of them. but they're really struggling to connect in that final third because they don't have a true striker. I'd like to see them push a little bit more. I would like to see them push their back line a little higher so that when they do win in that counter attack, it's not going to be an issue.
We are now joined by the first half goal scorer. Victoria Hogan is with us. Chelsea and Drew. Victoria, let's start with the goal. That's got to feel pretty good. Big smile on your face. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, honestly, I saw the ball coming across. There were many great balls coming across the box. Coming across the box the whole first half. Sorry, I'm so out of breath. And at one point I was like, I need to get on one of these. So finally I got on one of them and I just made the best of it. So yeah.
I know you're out of breath, so I'm not going to take too much time. What needs to be better the second half? You're up 1-0, but things need to change.
Yeah, I just think in that final third, I think in the back we're doing well of just playing back and forth, being patient, but once we're in that final third, just being more persistent with what we want to do, being more consistent and precise with our touches and just doing the basics well. So yeah, hopefully we'll do that better in the second half. But
well, Victoria, you go catch that breath and good luck in the second half. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Victoria Hogan, the goal scorer. Pups at the pitch night. Big save early here. Sarah Cox could have been 1-0, could perhaps be 2 or 3. Tampa Bay, though, scores late, and it is 1-0 at the break here in Kentucky in USL Super League.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
What launches this ball? And finds the winner. Oh, what a play! It's a bending effort.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gamebridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, great at assists. Gamebridge, great at assists for your savings.
Success isn't a game of chance. It's about making the right moves. Just like Lexington Sporting Club, Commonwealth Credit Union aims to win by helping you defend your goals and keeping your money on the attack. As the official credit union of Lexington Sporting Club, we're empowering success on the field and in your finances with smarter banking options and unbeatable service. Are you ready to take the lead? Then get the home field advantage for your finances, only with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
We live with you, build with you, grow up with you, and dream with you. At Central Bank, we belong to the same communities you do. You're our neighbors, friends, and business partners. And through the relationships we build with you every day, we consistently serve you better. That's what highly personal banking is all about. We start with you.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket? No, but we do make them work. Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Halftime at Lexington SC Stadium. They're the good boys and girls here for Pups at the Pitch Night. It's a 1-0 lead at the break for the visitors, however, but everybody loves dogs nonetheless. Take a look at our news and notes across USL Super League. Next year's schedule, next season's schedule, I should say, 25-26, kicking off August the 23rd. And how about Carolina Ascent? They have been mighty, mighty good as of late.
Carolina Ascent has done brilliant this season, and they've been consistent. And when a program invests, it really shows. From the coaching staff down to the players. And I'm also just really happy that this league is going to continue next year, because that just means we're going to keep on growing, keep adding teams.
One more team, Gamebridge aboard. Come one, come all. Brooklyn ended its 11-match winless streak, by the way, in a win over Fort Lauderdale recently. Every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Our friends follow along all season on the Sirius XM app.
Brooklyn keeps their playoff hopes alive this week with a win over Fort Lauderdale. We break down what helped them get that result. Plus, Marion and I give superlatives across the league, best newcomers, and some of the biggest losses we've seen this season. Plus, we are joined by Tampa Bay's Brooke Hendricks. She breaks down her rise through the professional ranks, an award she was given to by the Queen, and some of the superlatives she's giving out across the Sun roster.
Again, that's every Wednesday. Tampa Bay leads Lexington 1-0. Having some fun here at Lexington Stadium. More halftime coverage, highlights and stats after this.
Orthopedic surgery and sports medicine offers comprehensive treatments for bone, joint, and muscle disorders and injuries of all types, from complex repairs to complete replacements. UKHealthcare.com, the power of advanced medicine.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of Lexington SC. Get all your Lexington SC tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Attention Lexington SC fans, your women's USL Super League team is back in action at home this Friday, May 16th, as we take on Fort Lauderdale United FC at 6 p.m. Secure your seats now at lexsporting.com/tickets and be a part of the energy, the passion, and the pride of Lexington SC.
Halftime here in Lexington, Kentucky. Let's take a look at the highlights. It's Lexington SC, it's Tampa Bay Sun FC, and Tampa Bay on the front foot from the jump. Chelsea, a number of chances in the opening moments.
Early on, Nacello will scrutinize your back line to get a foul. She's cheeky, she's creative, she's smart, she knows what she's doing.
The ensuing penalty stopped, though, by Sarah Cox. Another look, and Jamona not able to get it to go. Cox able to move to the left and keep it out. But 12th minute, another really good chance for Tampa.
Great service into the box. Tampa does a really good job pulling out so that they can get Lexington out of their box to then crash in.
Some really small bounces, too. One hop, very underside of the crossbar, and caught another player.
Very risky of more. I would have put a head on it.
Luck ran out a bit for Lexington in terms of areas. What a strike, what a connection. This is all in the finish from Hogan.
This was definitely practice. Good cut by Flew with outside of her foot. Brilliant service to Hogan, leading Hogan. Hogan takes a touch, and she just takes a whip at the back of the net.
Let
Look
her
at
rip.
this. What? She doesn't even think about it. It's just instinct.
And you saw the settle with the right, then it hit her left foot, then back to the right. I wonder if that was all intent or maybe a fortunate bounce back to the right. Here is a look at the halftime stats. The shots 8-2 in favor of Tampa. Possession ends 56-44, and plenty of corners, 9 total, 6-3. And there was one yellow card for Lexington's Julie Mackin in the first half of play. Tampa leads it 1-0, looking to sweep the season series 4-0. Second half action. When we come back, it's USL Super League on Peacock.
Halftime substitution for Tampa Bay Sun. Number 11, Kennedy Parker Goins, replacing number 8, Hannah King.
Just about set for the second half, Tampa Bay and Lexington. It's Tampa Bay Sun 1, Lexington 0. The late goal coming from Victoria Hogan with just 30 seconds left before stoppage time at 44:30, and Cecilia Flew picking up the assist. And there is the second half whistle, and away we go. Again, if you're just joining us, it's Lexington in the home whites and Tampa Bay in the visiting bright two-tone orange and yellow from left to right. Along with the rest of our team and alongside Chelsea Cabar. Tampa Bay could be up 3 here or more.
These are things that they need to focus on, the small details, get into those positions to score. They need to start practicing for what is coming ahead, because they're going to play teams that are at that level. Lexington right now is playing really good football.
Play over the top here. Nacello. One change at the break for Tampa. Parker Goins comes in and replaces Hannah Keene up front. Goins with a goal on the season. Keene has 2, and both in the last month. Not tonight, though. Was the only score on Sunday, so Keene plays a half. Also played only the first half on Sunday as well. Also there from the goal scorer, and then a over and back short side offside. We'll give it to Lexington one way or the other. Full officiating crew tonight. Edson Carvajal is the referee. Chris Schufranz and Kendall McCardle, the assistant referees, and the fourth official is Christopher Slank. So we talked about Tampa. From the Lexington point of view, weren't able to create offensive opportunities, but held in check enough, maybe a fortunate bounce to keep it at just one down. Got to look at this as this game is still all in front of you.
Defensively, they've been doing really well. Sarah Cox has saved them plenty of times. And it's what I mentioned earlier. I would like them to step their lineup a little bit higher to change the rhythm of the game so that when they do win that counterattack, they don't have to cover as much space to get to goal. It could just be 1, 2, 3 passes, shoot.
No halftime substitutions from acting head coach Ben Willis, who is the manager tonight for Lexington. Chipped over the top. Coming out, maybe a step late on the break was Cox, but still able to get to it in plenty of time. Perhaps was reading the pace of that one as it was a tweener. I have to think these first 5 minutes, especially for Lexington, extra critical. Strong intercept from Hubat Nasello. Feeding up ahead for Jamona.
Tackle.
Nicely worked there. And taken by Trinity Watson. Those mini type winning plays. Put a couple of those together. Ball over the top. Some speed here. Confrontation, it's one. Here comes the left foot. Walking it in for Flew. Drops it back. Far post, just wide. A great chance and nearly 2-0.
A wonderful service to going, and she did a magnificent job using her body and her legs to cover the ball. I would have just taken that shot with my left foot because she had the goal wide open. Beautiful job.
Frankly, she baited me a little bit too, bringing on the defenders. Created that lane, Flew that is.
She created her own space. And that is something that you can't teach a forward. That is something that they're born with. You learn how to use your body.
Jade Moore with a great rip. Another try quickly coming in, this time looking for Jamona. Quickly erased and sent out. Some numbers up ahead. If Lexington wants to go, they will go that direction. This is Kate Doyle onto it. First time we've mentioned Kate Doyle's name. Making her 8th start of the Super League campaign. Left foot, just wide. Nearly 1-1.
What a great shot by Doyle. She attacked that space. She cut in to drag defenders with her, and she saw the net wide open. If she would have just put her body over the ball a little bit more and used her laces, that ball would have gone in.
Plenty of power on that from the Seattle, Washington native. Distinguished career at Arkansas in the SEC for Kate Doyle. Also played some collegiate at Gonzaga. A lot of these players part of the college world when there were extra years due to the pandemic and of the sort. Backed out over this near touchline, quick reload.
I think key also for this Lexington side is not to be so predictable in the middle of the park, because the back line is doing a great job moving the ball around, but they have limited options in the midfield.
On that chance, they erased the midfield going super direct and the run converted. Perhaps we'll see more of that as Bassett clears it away. Again, ultra quick to put it back into play. In fact, I'm not even sure the first ball had left the field of play before it was sent back in. That was ultra quick, and the shot said wide by DeCello. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Just into the second half here. Tampa scoring late in the first half in the 45th minute. Hogan from Flew. Flew, by the way, picking up her third assist, 11 goal contributions. 8 goals, 3 assists. And now 4 of those contributions against Lexington. The previous 3 were all goals. Almost came up high on the hand of Jade Moore in the midfield. To the Tampa Bay back line, which we haven't heard much from in the defensive area, especially Brooke Hendricks back in the center part of that unit.
So here's a perfect example. Vernus has the ball. She had the ball. And there's no movement in the midfield on this Lexington side. Now they're progressing. They're slowly progressing.
The better builds we've seen. This is Hannah White's ball, gets all the way through. Settled and kept here by Mackin. Back to the right side and White. And a whistle and a foul. Hometown crowd expressing their displeasure at the whistle. And Ben Willis not pleased either. Cage pops back up. And the short restart will come from Sydney Schneider, who, with the exception of the chance we saw from Kate Doyle a little while ago, really has not been involved in this game. Never mind tested, but was both with that Doyle chance, and that's all it takes sometimes in a 1-0 game. Lexington trying to win it back in the midfield with some pressure of its own.
We saw it on Thursday with DC versus Dallas. DC was down 2-0 and they came back.
Plenty of goals available in this league from what we've seen. That final from a couple of days ago, 2 days ago to be precise, 3-2, DC picking up the win. Good reminder to tell you about what's happening elsewhere too. Brooklyn leads Spokane 2-0. Play on here, advantage, more in a moment. Here's Doyle. Not enough on the pass though, and the intercept by Page to at least slow it down. One back here, this is White, lefty sent just wide. Better movement and better sequencing for Lexington, though. A couple consecutive near chances.
We're starting to see more movement, and where they've been successful is when their outside forwards drag the ball in. Rather than running the line, they change the point of attack. And Tampa Bay hasn't really figured it out yet on how to defend that.
To clean up that last scoreboard update, Brooklyn 2, Spokane 0, 57th minute. The significance there, Brooklyn, if that result flips on its head and they fall and Tampa Bay wins, Tampa win, Brooklyn lost, Brooklyn's eliminated from playoff contention. The way the scores stand right now, it does not appear that to be the case. Brooklyn team that started the year incredibly strong. A mighty rough patch, but perhaps on the way out of it, and if they can find a way into the postseason, you could make the argument they might be the hottest team there. With the exception of Carolina, probably. A lot to be determined, safe to say. Over the top, Nasello onto it. Nasello's crossed through, and absorbing a little contact was Cox, but very strong positioning, good read for the goalkeeper of Lexington.
A great battle, a lot of personality running out by Nasello. Nasello is going to do that. She's not going to give up a ball that easily. And she has pace on her.
Just in front of the reach of Wisniewski there, who almost got on top of it. Track back to the edge of the attacking third for Tampa, trying to pressure win it back. Unable to. Shots in the first half, 8-2 in favor of Tampa. So far in the second, 2-1 Lexington. Tight quarters operation between a number of players there. Hogan comes away with it, the goal scorer. Pass, though, is behind the onrushing Parker Goins, the only sub we saw at halftime on either side. First time we've mentioned Goins in the run of play.
Well, I see what Coach Denise is doing here by having Nasello and Hogan on the same side. Because normally Nasello plays on Page's side, and they've switched it up. Both players are very creative, and they move well off of each other. When Hogan steps up, Nasello automatically knows to drop into her position. Or when they both go to the attack, they're dangerous.
Foul called against Flew there. You saw a couple of bright shirts around Lexington. Hannah White on front of this one. White cuts it back, working on Page. Settles back for long range. Good sequence too these last couple of moments, and that one gets all the way through. Maybe she was going to look for a corner win, but instead served it in.
White has had a really good game thus far. She's attacking that line. She's looking for those creative spaces and outlets. She's the only one really taking shots at goal.
Footed send, long range. Looking for that connection. Provenzano over the top. Settles here now for Flew. Flew's cross through. Looking for Goins. Bounces into the waiting arms for a clearance here. Or just more of a settle from LBU. West 6th Brewing is a proud partner of the Lexington Sporting Club with dynamic taproom locations all throughout the state of Kentucky. You can enjoy West 6th's locally crafted beers for all your adventures. Enjoy a Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC, at all home games or at your favorite retailers around Lexington. A little too strong on the direct ball, over the top.
They have a good crowd there.
It's Pups at the Pitch night. I just wonder, you know, sometimes when you take a youngster to a sporting event, you put the earmuffs on just so it doesn't get too loud. Do they make those for dogs? And if they did, would a dog allow that to happen?
I feel like they would, because they have the goggles also for the dogs.
Goggles,
and I
that's
use the
right.
goggles for my dog whenever we go on the boat.
My dog George would not, never mind a rain jacket or goggles. Here's a chance. Goins cutting it back. Goins gets inside, fires, and scores! What a way to change this matchup to 2-0. And Parker Goins picks up her second of the season. And the halftime sub puts Tampa comfortably in front.
What a great pass and run behind the defenders by Groin. She was able to read the play ahead of time and not catch herself off sides with an incredible finish to the corner.
Also scored against Dallas back in February, and this the second of her season. 60th minute, the goal comes for Parker Goins, and Tampa in firm control here on the road. Looking to take 3 points, and then will be some substitutions before we resume play.
Jordan Zaid replacing number 22, Paige Almendarez. And number 29, Andrea.
So we see Jordan Zaid check in for Tampa, replacing Paige, who put together strong minutes over the course of this near first 61 minutes. And Andrea Hochstadter comes in as well. Hawksdaughter replacing Jade Moore. So that's now 3 changes that have been utilized in just the one window. The other sub coming at halftime with Goins, who just scored. And if you're Denise Schulte-Brown, you've got to be happy with where your club stands here, especially on the road. Only 3 wins away from Tampa all season, perhaps on the precipice of a 4th. Goins, the most recent goal scorer. Over the top here for Jordan Zaid. Fresh legs, but the flag is up, offside. Goins some experience with Racing Louisville and NWSL. Our last stop. Another huge SEC performer. That's a lot of this league. Arkansas 2021 SEC champion in the regular season and the midfielder of the year. And plenty of other accolades, including a 3rd-team All-American honoree in 2021. And here scoring her 2nd goal of the season just moments ago to put Tampa Bay up 2-0.
Substitution for Lexington SC in the 63rd minute.
A sub now for Lexington. First change that Ben Willis has activated. Grace Wisniewski checks out here as we tick into the 64th minute, and Natalie Higgins comes in. Great to see Higgins back out there with a significant injury for 8 months plus. 2 weeks ago, made the return, played about 15 minutes. It was 14. Last week played closer to 30. It was 29, and it'll be a similar mark. Whoa, look out! A flip throw from Jordan Zaid. That was remarkable. We have to get another look at that when we have time. Here's Flew. Corner kick. Let's take a look. Hello.
Very acrobatic, and it gives more pace to the ball to get further. It's not something I necessarily like when I'm playing on the pitch, but it's good for the viewers.
You see it so infrequently. It actually kind of scared me for a moment. It's just seeing it live. Just processing. A corner kick for Tampa as a result after the play continued from there after that throw. And a whistle here and a foul. A little too much pressure over the back. Trying to gain some positioning in the box. And Bissett will drop back. Vivian Bissett, who has been a mainstay in this Tampa lineup. No goals, 3 assists, 25, now 26 appearances every single match for a Tampa side that is currently 3rd in the league table. A cut inside by Kate Doyle. A nice moment earlier. Doyle dispossessed. That should draw a whistle. It does. And Lexington will have a set-piece opportunity from roughly 25 yards out.
Great things happen when you run at a back line and you're in that final third. You can throw yourself to get those fouls, but it's really good to just keep the ball at your feet and run at them because someone's going to push you. A defender will push you.
Golden opportunity for Lexington. Vernus, 11 in white, readies off the left side. Still plenty of time. But if the home side is going to get a result, this is about as good of a chance you'll get to cut it in half. The whistle blows, first run goes by. Here's Vernus towards goal. The adjustment made by the keeper, and it's kept out. Going one direction, then Schneider changing and going to the right to keep it out.
Amazing placement and the curve that she put on the ball. It makes it hard for a goalkeeper to get her hands on it, but that's when her teammates, her forwards, need to be ready, anticipate, be there to get that rebound.
To the club's credit, able to get it out almost with the immense torque and turn on that ball. The defensive wall turns into a screen for the goalkeeper a bit, and that's why perhaps you saw Schneider kind of lean heavy into the left foot and then propelled just enough to move to her right and knock it away. Flag up here for a foul after it was lost. Lexington SC fans, be sure to join us on Sunday, May 18th at 7 p.m. at LSC Stadium to support our men's team as they take on FC Tulsa. It's Family Fun Day, and we'll be celebrating tailgating festivities as well as a pre-match concert presented by the Burl, so be sure to arrive early. Purchase your tickets today at lexsporting.com. Update in the other Super League match currently ongoing. Sydney Cummings scoring for Spokane in the 74th minute. They're 10 minutes or so ahead of us, 13 to be exact. 2-1 Brooklyn the score. And remember, Brooklyn with a loss, so still 2 more would have to be conceded. A Brooklyn loss and a Tampa win would eliminate Brooklyn from postseason competition, or contention, I should say. They wouldn't have a chance to compete. Over the top for Nasello. Nasello very crafty, cross too high. Still in play though as Parsons tries to shield for Lexington. And we'll get a throw as Hogan challenged briefly.
You can hear Jamona telling her teammates, step up, get your line up. We need to start crashing. And sometimes that gap between the midfielders and the defenders play a huge part.
There's Jamona speaking, intercepting, and now distributing for Flew, who should win a corner. Although Lexington thought it was out first, but the determination is corner. So Hogan has scored, Goins has scored. Moyer shuffling it over for Bissett, who will likely take this for Tampa. Bissett, by the way, it's on 7 yellow cards, but has had 1 forgiven for a stretch of good play without a card. So really only 6 for potential suspension purposes. That's important late in the season. Headed out off the initial challenge by Watson. Reload though. Jordan Zaid on the chase. Kansas appearing in her 12th match and 9th off the bench. Back to Zaid. Zaid's cross through. A punch from the goalkeeper. Loose in the area. Back to goal and a settle. Jamona. Hawksdaughter is blocked. Provenzano thinking. Nasello as the pressure continues. Zaid couldn't get to that one, but it will be a throw-in. Tampa has moved quickly, restarting play when they've had that opportunity. Zaid's cross again, near Bicycle. Hogan trying again too. The reversal nicely executed by Parsons. Hawksdaughter, the native of Iceland. Sydney Schneider, the goalkeeper for Tampa, only 3rd appearance of the season. Coming off the clean sheet against Dallas. Huge save last week, full extension. just out of halftime. Biggest save would have made 1-1 game at that point. Corner for Schneider's side.
And she's doing really well. She's playing off her line. She's trying to play out of the back and be part of the defensive line.
Another corner for Tampa, approaching 10 here on the night. Should be number 9 as Bissett restarts. Go for possession at first. You see all the numbers packed inside the 6, plenty of space, long distance. Hogan tries again. Went low that time to try and create some chaos, of which Lexington was hoping to pause that Tampa chaos. They've done so in some stretches, but Tampa with the 2-0 lead has the advantage with their style. Here's Jamona. Drops it on back for Hawkstadter. Losing the balance, but goes left on the send. Lexington looking to break out, but the first goal scorer for Tampa there first. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super Newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. Take away in the midfield for Lexington. Here comes White. Left-footed service now. White, ball all the way through, right near the penalty spot. A brief settle. Moyer. Long range. That's high. Kate Doyle from the top of the 18, but over everything.
Good stuff by Lexington, being able to intercept those balls in that counterattack. But it's what I mentioned earlier. They don't have that connection in the final third. They don't have that true forward to come check in, ask for the ball, play one touch, and move into those spaces. It's as if they're crossing balls into no one.
A couple of goal scorers come in for Lexington, at least relative to the season. Mary Kate McGuire, 4 goals, tied for second on the team, and Hannah Richardson, 3 goals, 4th on the team, both entering and replacing Maddie Parsons and Julie Mackin. So Mackin leaves, don't have to worry about that yellow card caution anymore. It's the only booking that we have seen here this evening. Remember, Tampa coming off of playing without Jordan Listro for what was 65 minutes plus the stoppages, stoppage times, I should say. Sure, Tampa, though, will be delighted to have Listro back, likely next week. Player who was, before tonight, played in every match and started all but one. Zano's had a nice performance in the stead of Listro. Things have, of course, shifted around, but flew for Flint, more of the common sub. In terms of lineup changes, only 2 of them from last week. Bissett's service, or excuse me, Watson's service for Lexington. Deflected away, and looks like this might be a corner, and Tampa appears to be a bit stunned.
This is a good opportunity for them to get a goal in the back of the net. Lexington needs to take advantage of these opportunities.
Watson's service again.
A great service by Watson.
Great call from our officiating crew, too. Today's Lexington SC corner kicks are presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Fake out on the first one. And the 77th minute corner is in. Catches the noggin of Provenzano. Cleared out of the immediate danger area. Tampa up 2-0. Gonna sweep the season series and grab all 12 points from Lexington. Dangerous
that
cross
was
through.
dangerous.
Chipped back in by Vernus. Dangerous again, but not as dangerous as the last one. Follow-up try, low. Caught an own man. Second opportunity. Needs a third. Oh, Schneider got there somehow.
What an incredible battle by this Lexington side. Exhausting their options, trying to get that service into the box, but no one could get ahead on it. Good stuff by Tampa Bay, getting that ball out. An unfortunate crash with White, and Schneider.
Well, it looked like the momentum of White.
Those are the collisions
The
that
stanchion
you
of the
always
goal and the
want
post
to
were involved,
avoid,
I
especially
believe,
with
too.
the post.
Substitution for Tampa Bay Sun FC.
There will be a substitution for Tampa as Ashley Clark checks in and replaces Nasello. A fine performance for Sydney Nasello.
Really well done by Nasello, giving those creative options, running at defenders. But Ashley Clark doesn't fall behind because she's the type of player that she's going to run at defenders. She's going to be creative with the ball. She wants the ball at her feet.
And that applause, as we saw the running in of the sub, Clark, was for Hannah White, who was able to get to her feet under her own power, but does appear to be in a bit of pain.
That's an injury I don't wish on anyone. Well, you don't wish any injury on anyone, but hitting your head on a post, I've had experience with that, and it's terrible.
And from what we just saw, not quite sure if we will see White again. Might be forced to make a change. What chances for Lexington? A bounce one way or the other. And it's 2-1 very, very easily.
Sometimes luck isn't on your side, because those were 3 chances, and Tampa Bay just wouldn't let one in.
The near sideline run from Nicole Vernus.
Great awareness with Vernus with her body, using her arm to shield off the player.
Touch for Richardson, one of the pair of subs in the 74th minute not too long ago, alongside Mary Kate McGuire. Back to Richardson, 24-year-old who played collegiately at Kentucky, and of course knows the area quite well. Over the top, Tampa will be settled here by Sarah Cox. Stay informed about all things Super League. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into the league. Coming down the stretch, week 32. Hard to believe we're already that far in. Brooklyn, after tonight, only will have 1 match left. These two sides will have 2 coming up over the next 3 weeks. By the way, Brooklyn is now down a player, down a man, playing with 10, leading 2-1 as they approach the 90th minute. Knocked away, but not all the way out. And we get a whistle for a stoppage. And Lexington not pleased with the whistle, but great news, Hannah White came back about 20 seconds before immediately becoming involved. So that's great to see for Lexington and White. Crosses through, dangerously just waiting near the spot and getting there just in the nick of time defensively to deny Hawksdaughter. Moyer having do some defensive work. We'll see it again.
Great defensive work by Moyer. Being able to time that slide tackle, it's not easy.
See the sense of urgency likely picking up here if you're Lexington.
I got that feeling as well. I feel as if they came into the second half with a bit more urgency. Although that first half, they played well and they held their ground, but now I'm starting to see the line step up a little bit higher, looking for those outlets and taking shots.
Long distance shot going wide from Jamona. Schulte Brown, her squad, on the precipice of moving to 42 points in the table, perhaps. If this result holds, that would mean solo second. And no more games to come this weekend. Nothing later today, nothing tomorrow. It's starting to get wild elsewhere. Brooklyn, we told you, down a player, led 2-0 in the second half to 2-1, and now it is 2-2. Allie Cook scoring in the second minute of stoppage. The draw can't eliminate Brooklyn, but it's not going to help their case to get towards the playoffs with just one more to go after today. The turn here for Lexington, and McGuire will win a corner.
We're starting to see a lot of attacking chances for this Lexington side. More corners, more fouls. And these are the situations that they need to make sure that they take advantage of.
Corner kicks are presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Right-footed service. And the header is sent wide off of the Lexington noggin. Eight. 85th minute from right to left. Lexington quickly pushing in again, but erased as Tampa charts to pack it in a little bit. Brooke Hendricks, who's been pretty quiet. Lexington will make a change. Libby Moore will exit, who committed the foul that led to the first half PK that was stopped, though, by Sarah Cox. And Nayoung Shin, the 25-year-old from the Republic of Korea, will enter. Wasn't on the matchday roster last week. Back in there this week, makes her 18th appearance, just her second off the bench.
What I really love about Shin is that she's creative on and off the ball. She looks to connect passes. She likes to have the ball at her feet. She doesn't like long balls, so she's going to try creating to progress up the field.
Did have the injury stoppage. We've had a bevy of substitutions, but I don't believe we're looking at a stoppage time number that is massive. So it is go time for Lexington. Likely need one before 90 and then one late to tie. Copy what Spokane did a little bit of earlier. Shin, who just checked in. Now for Richardson, another second half substitute. Richardson's left-footed cross gets all the way through, except to the last defender before the netminder, Hendricks.
Good cross in. I would like to see the forwards run some diagonal runs, overlap. not be so predictable for Tampa Bay to defend.
It's another Lexington SC corner kick presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Right-footed strike, and again, a lot of traffic there. Comes all the way back near the corner taker. Reload for Vernus, but then dispossessed. Take it away. No hurry if you're Tampa. Good work done, though, by Ashley Clark. Switch off. Lexington looking for its first goal of the night. Down by 2. Here's the drive from Doyle. Knocked away, and will win another corner. So the corners are coming and coming here.
The corners are starting to come. It means that they're attacking. They're creating those chances.
Some more and more numbers coming forward as well. Watson getting involved. It might be everybody with the exception of Albiu, who now actually is looking like she may enter as well. Corner kicks presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Shane Moyer to take, delivers right near the spot, off of a Lexington head. Circling by Doyle. Now Shin. Taken down, let's see if we get a whistle. We will, and Shin wins what will be a free kick opportunity.
A good battle. Shin trying to get around the defenders. Goings should have been a little bit more patient and not create that foul at that point in the field, because it's a dangerous spot. Just be patient. Watch the ball. Don't look at her feet. Just watch the ball.
4 years for Shin in the Korean K-League. That is the top league in Korea now with Lexington SC. Getting to the stretch of where this is almost a must score if you want a result. Down 2 here as we tick towards the 90th minute. Right-footed service, spinning in, edge of the 6. Looking for a whistle. Tampa is, and they will get it. Hogan was ready to clear it, but offside.
I would have liked to see Lexington maybe time their run a little bit better. Hold off. I always say, give it an extra second.
Go direct with the send off the goal kick. Lexington gets possession back for a brief moment, and that should allow a substitution now for Tampa. Gabby Provenzano will exit. Has to feel good for Provenzano, who struggled with injury each of the last 2 seasons after being drafted back in 2022 in the NWSL with Portland Thorns. And on comes the midfielder from Ghana, Wasila Sowale.
It was a big game for Provenzano, coming back from injury, spending a lot of time without play. These minutes mean something. Trying to get her rhythm back, her confidence, it's so crucial.
Just 3 minutes of time added here. So Lexington needs to move very quickly. Need a score on this rush. Here's Hannah White. White, right foot, it was blocked. It's loose, edge of the 6, and controlled there. The settle, dangerously. Moyer initially, still in play. Back near Moyer and cleared out by Goins.
What a great play by White, changing the point of attack, knowing when to cut in to cross that ball and give that service.
You see the hustle. Whistle here, not sure what we're waiting for. The intercept, but given right back. It surprised Vernus, perhaps sent in, and nobody home. It was Kate Doyle, the closest to it. They have gone full time in Brooklyn, by the way, 2-2 final. Brooklyn led 2-0 in the second half. Went down a man.
Unfortunate that Tori got that red card. She spent so much time injured.
Here's an opportunity. Numbers ahead for Tampa, looking for the exclamation point. And Tampa Bay Sun has it. A big-time smile as it is now 3-0 Tampa. Comprehensive effort as we take another look.
What a great combination and timing of Flu's run. Great control, attacking that space, and a beautiful finish with the inside of her foot, placing it perfectly, giving it such a curve.
That's what Cecilia Flu can do. 9 goals now for Flu, ties the team lead, and moves closer to the top of the league scoring table, which is at 12 goals entering play today. So it'll take something special for Flu down the stretch, but you never know. A brace or two in the final 2 matches. And Tampa is going to get out of Lexington with 3 points, with 3 goals, and hoping for a clean sheet. Sydney Schneider may have just secured her 2nd straight, and that is indeed the case. Full time in Lexington. Tampa Bay wins it 3-0, and it's back-to-back clean sheets, outscoring opponents 13-4 in the last 6 matches. They've won 5 of their last 6, and Tampa in surging shape as we get closer to the playoffs.
A great game by Tampa Bay, but also a great game by this Lexington side as well. They didn't give up. They played for each other. I really didn't think that this game was going to end 3-0, but beautifully done by Tampa Bay, getting those 3 points, getting the goals that they needed to get. This is what set
During this match, we really, rate Hannah White and Parsons, and we know that she'd be matched up with one or both of them, which she was. And so, what I'm so proud of is that she did the job defensively. I thought she absolutely crushed it. But then to, contribute offensively with the goal, that's like going above and beyond. So, you can't ask much more of your players.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here very much. Safe travels back home, and we'll see you again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Let's take a look at the highlights from this one. A 3-0 final. How did we get here? Well, Tampa was off on the front foot in the very opening minutes. An early decision and a point to the spot here.
Nasello is going to do exactly what she does. She's going to run at the back line. She's going to create those fouls, and she threw herself. Jamona, unfortunate here. She should have curved it a little bit to the corner, but great performance by Cox. She saved her team.
Certainly did. The PK right in the midst and stopped by Sarah Cox. Just about to halftime, Lexington thought it might be 0-0 at the break, but last moments, and Tampa finally cashed in.
Simply perfection, this combination. Flew to Hogan, a beautiful connection. Flew cuts it with the outside of her foot. Hogan, touch, and the instinct, perfect precision to the back of the net.
And we just heard from Coach, defensive assignment was the first priority. Funny how that works when you can do a little bit of everything. Second half substitute Parker Goins. How about this feed and the run-up and the individual strike?
Fu looks for that pocket. She connects with Goins, and Goins with a lot of personality and a lot of pace. Went ahead, opens her body, great precision into the back of the net. What a great play.
And the final moments here, exclamation point. We talked about the Hogan-Flu connection. Let's turn it around. This time it's Flu scoring what is now a co-team leading 9th goal.
Flu worked for it all game. I mean, she got an assist. The least she could do is get a goal, and that's exactly what happened. Brilliant.
Final numbers, shot totals end up relatively even, 14-12 on target, 5-4 in favor of Tampa. Possession got a bit tighter as well. It was 60-40 for a good chunk, and there were corner kicks. If you like corner kicks, this was the game for you. 16 of them, 9-7, and there was one early yellow card that was shown to Julie Mackin of Lexington, just her third of the season, so no worries about any accumulation suspensions in the future. Let's now take a look at the table with the results that have happened here tonight. We just saw our game, of course, finish 3-0 in favor of Tampa Bay. Brooklyn and Spokane play to the 2-2 draw, and then look what that does to the standings. Tampa's in a really good spot right now with 2 to play. Outside chance they could catch Carolina. They want a home playoff game, but it gets a lot trickier when you go 3 through 6 because Fort Lauderdale has so many games to go.
And this is the beauty of football. It's very unpredictable because anything can happen at any given moment. Dallas lost that game on Thursday, and it's a game that they shouldn't have lost, but Tampa Bay went ahead and they took advantage of the opportunities that they were given. They got the 3 points and they moved up ahead on the standings.
So that is the table through 32 weeks of USL Super League. Pups at the pitch night, a big success for the Pups, but it's the visitors who take the win. 3-0 Tampa Bay. Goals from Hogan, Goins, and Flew. That'll do it for our coverage for Chelsea Kabarkis and the rest of our great team, led by Maria Ringo tonight. Happy birthday, by the way. This is Drew Casey saying so long from Lexington. Once again, the final 3-0 Tampa in USL Super League.